Happy Friday, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Visionary Conversations with Shanna. Of course, I'm your host, Shanna A. Jefferson, and for those of you who are new to the platform, I am a mental health therapist. I've actually been doing this now 10 years. We'll talk more about that as we go along throughout the show today. But in addition to being a mental health therapist, I'm also a business coach where I help entrepreneurs create harmony in their life and business through personal development, mental wellness, as well as creating sustainable business practices. But y'all, it's not just me today, okay? Because as always, I have not just one, I actually have four amazing trailblazing visionary entrepreneurs live today. And these aren't, I love all entrepreneurs, okay? But these entrepreneurs are a little extra special to me because they are four of the amazing 10 expert speakers that we're going to have at my upcoming conference theme, the Roadmap to Greatness. And y'all, if y'all haven't seen the post yet on social media, I know there's some press release that's going out soon, as well as on other platforms as well. I want you to go to roadmaptogreatnessconference.com so you can get all the details about the conference. But today, you can hear it firsthand from, again, four of the expert speakers. So let's go to this brief video, and then once we return, I am going to have our speakers introduce themselves to the Visionary Conversations with Shanna audience. Check this out, y'all. Y'all, welcome back to Visionary Conversations with Shanna. Without further delay, I'm going to go ahead and bring on four of the amazing expert speakers for the Roadmap to Greatness Conference. Now, if you haven't heard, the Roadmap to Greatness Conference is the to celebrate. I created this to celebrate not only myself as of February 25th, will celebrate 10 years, y'all. 10 years. I can't believe it. 10 years as a full-time business owner and entrepreneur. So not only to celebrate myself and the lessons that I've learned throughout the 10-year journey that I've experienced as an entrepreneur and business owner, but also to bring on other expert speakers, entrepreneurs, visionaries, and coaches who have been, in their own respective ways, have been on this entrepreneur journey as well. So without further ado, y'all, we have Carla, Krystal, Joan, as well as Marvin. Let's bring them all on here. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome. So let's just do this. I would like for each of you to introduce yourselves to the Visionary Conversations with Shanna audience. And why don't we start with Carla, better known as the Trailblazer.
Hey, everybody, and thank you so much, Shanna.
I am Carla Arcana Lawrence, and I go by the Trailblazer. And so, for the last decade plus, I have served as a holistic transformation coach, where I'm all about helping women, specifically aspiring, emerging, and established female entrepreneurs, get unlocked, unleashed, and activated into their place of purpose. And so, I'm also an author, speaker, and so I love helping bridge the gap between mental health and business, teaching us how to take care of ourselves in the process while we're building lucrative brands and sharing our message with the masses. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carla. All right, so next up we have Krystal. Introduce yourself, Krystal, to the Visionary Conversations with Shanna audience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shayna. Hi, everybody. I'm Krystal Vernee, and I'm a serial womanpreneur, speaker, author, business coach, and a brand strategist. And I teach coaches, consultants, and online service providers how to monetize their expertise so that they can create multiple streams of income and build a profitable and sustainable business. Just really passionate about helping entrepreneurs be able to build their brand, and focus on those revenue generating activities that are really going to drive their business forward, and really help them to compete against some of those bigger brands out there in the marketplace. But I'm really super excited to be here, and grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krystal. Definitely elated to have you join us as well. All right, let's see. So, Marvin, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Marvin, introduce
Yes, ma'am.
yourself to the Visionary Conversations with Shayna audience.
Hello, hello, audience, everyone. I'm so excited and grateful to be here. Marvin McQueen II is my name. I get an opportunity and a chance to help people to be motivated, to create some positive movement and momentum towards the greatest success in their life. I oversee a company called the Creating Change Group, and we are your source for personal and professional development, whether it be through marketing, whether it be through writing a book. That is our biggest thing, helping you self-publish your book, get your message out to the world, because everyone needs to hear those great things that you have gone through in your life. And so I am grateful to be here. So thank you, Shayna, for allowing me to be a part.
Thank you so much, Marvin. And last but not least, we have Joan joining us today. Introduce yourself, Joan, to the Visionary Conversations with Shayna audience.
Okay, certainly. And again, just like everyone else, thank you so much for this amazing and honorable opportunity and just to be amongst these fabulous speakers. My name is Joan Smith, and I am the CEO and founder of Premier Career Coaching. I am also an HR consultant. What we do in Premier Career Coaching, we help mid-career professional women and men. We help them pivot out of careers that are not serving them any longer. If they're frustrated, they've been devalued and just not growing. And we help them pivot into a career or an organization that will value them and celebrate their talents. So that's what we do.
Awesome. I love it. If you are just tuning in, as you can see, we already have four amazing expert speakers who will be joining us for the Roadmap to Greatness conference. So, even today, y'all, take note because they're going to be dropping some nuggets for greatness that perhaps you can start implementing today, not just in your business, but in your life as well. And also, while we're live or as soon as we're done, I want you to go to roadmaptogreatnessconference.com and make sure you RSVP for the conference. In addition to the expert speakers today, there will be an additional 5+ expert speakers on, gosh, I can't even keep up with everything they're discussing, right? So we're going to be talking about how you can increase your profitability in life as well as business. One of our expert speakers will be discussing how to turn your personality into profit, how to leverage y'all business credit to build your business, and so much more. So once again, you don't want to miss this. Many of the things, honestly, y'all, that our expert speakers will be discussing, these are things that I did not know when I started my journey 10 years ago. So I definitely want to ensure that any new or aspiring entrepreneur, or perhaps you're a seasoned entrepreneur where you just haven't been fed with this information, right? You just haven't been exposed to this information. I want you to connect with us at the Roadmap to Greatness conference. Now, let's do this. visionary entrepreneurs. Today is what? Friday, Flashback Friday. So let's take it back a little bit, okay? And whoever wants to respond to this. So tell us a little bit about who or what inspire you to become an entrepreneur.
I'll go.
Wow.
Okay, so for me, I grew up watching my mom selling clothes out the trunk of her car. That's back when like flea markets was lit. Like my mom started with a little booth, you know what I'm saying? And then she had like a whole, like she just had like a whole aisle. Like she just took over the flea market. And I just watched her like hustle, work her 9 to 5, had 2 kids, and just doing her thing. And all this time, I am not thinking nothing about entrepreneurship. I don't think at this time I have any goal. I mean, any gifts, talents, or abilities. All I knew how to do was talk. You know what I'm saying? Talk and write. And so just watching her over the years and just develop this momentum and how people just like my mom could sell anything, like, and she loved it. And I saw it become her ministry. Even though she was selling clothes, I was watching her counsel people, pray for people. I was like, Mom, like other people sell this stuff. They come for you. Like they really come to talk to you. And so throughout just watching her and even the standard she had, like my mom was big on customer service. Like I used to work. So she went from selling this stuff out of the trunk of her car to being at a flea market to having her own boutique, which she still has 20 plus years later. And so growing up, I was working there and I would be on the phone. She's like, get off the phone. The customers in here, treat everybody with respect. And I used to hate it. I got fired like every week. But then I got fired like every week. I was like, I don't know how she do this, honey. But just watching her, and then I remember working on my job. I worked at Duke University, and I just was so unfulfilled, like sitting in a cubicle and just you know what I'm saying, just every day. And I was just like, man. So that's where my inspiration started. I could keep going, but watching my mom and knowing that it was doable, and I didn't realize like that entrepreneur spirit was within me. It just needed to be awakened or unlocked, unleashed, and activated. So yeah, I would say, yeah, my mom definitely. Watching her and just how people gravitate, like she ain't had to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, wow. She had to do anything. Y'all, I'm telling you, like everybody in the flea market was selling the same stuff, but they would come just to buy from her. I was like, I want that. Like people like you. And knowing that your business can become your ministry was life changing for me.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carla. Anyone else would like to dive in and share what led you to pursue entrepreneurship?
I'll go. For me, it was my dad. So my dad, he served in the Air Force, and after he did that, he actually started his own limousine company. And he was actually living in California. I'm on the East Coast, but he would always like, you know, back then you wrote letters, right? There was no cell phone, FaceTime, none of that. So he would tell me like all the different stars. Of course, he would call me too, but tell me all the different stars that he drove around. He drove around big names, so like Whitney Houston, New Kids on the Block, like all these different people. And so when I went to visit him one time in California, he had like, his company had like blew up. He had like 3 or 4 limousines, people, you know, drivers working for him. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was like, Dad, and I asked him, I was like, Dad, what's your job? He was like, this is my job. And I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, my family's from the South. So, you know, you don't use your real name. So he just would call me daughter. So he would say, daughter, he was like, I really think that you're not going to want to work for anybody else when you get older. And I kind of like, I laughed it off. But I think he was right, because at the age of 16, and y'all were laughing at me the last time, that's when the entrepreneurial bug bit, and I went into e-commerce and started my own eBay store and made quite a bit of money my first month. And my mom was like, what's happening? You're in high school. Shut it down. Shut it all down. But yeah, I would say my inspiration was definitely my dad, and he, like, watching him when I grew up. And even when he did, like, let's say he had to go, you know, get a job, he actually purchased his own truck because he drove. Like that was part of his job in the military. He bought his own truck. So he was always a contractor and always had his own business. So that was my example for entrepreneurship.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Krystal. Now, Joan, not necessarily put you on the spot, but sure. I think just before we started we were discussing the fact that you have been in HR for a significant period of time. However, when it comes to the entrepreneur realm of things, you've been doing this a few years. So tell us
Mhm.
a little about what led you to pursuing entrepreneurship.
Okay, well, thank you so much again. So I would say I one of the things that sort of drove me is that I saw a need, and the need is still there. About
Mhm.
maybe 2.5 years ago, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I started really before that, but it started kind of gnawing on me where a lot of women in the workplace just were unhappy. They were doing all the right things, showing up, doing their tasks. Some of them just weren't being given opportunities as far as training, development, and I'm talking about in-house where the money didn't need to be spent on the outside.
Mhm.
People being passed up for promotions, and I was in a structured situation. I was in a county government situation, and in right before of course, we didn't know it was going to be a pandemic, but right before the pandemic in late February 2020, I walked away from 8 years, and I had really more than that, but at that particular I walked away from 8 years of government, and
Wow.
wasn't working for about 6 months. And then, but during that time in fall of 2020, I was in a seminar, actually a coaching webinar to sort of inspire new coaches. And the name just came to me, Premier Career Coaching. And so I,
Wow.
started securing that. And then from there, from like in the summer of 2021, I started my Facebook business page. And then about 6 months ago, I got, actually about 4 or 5 months ago, I got certified. Not that I needed it, but I got certified because some people do want the credibility. And
Mhm.
so, but I've been coaching, a lot of women all along in between. So that's sort of, it was just a problem, and it's still out there where a lot of women are, especially in their mid-career, just marginalized and not really
Mhm.
being respected and being valued as a team player and a part of the organization. So that's what sort of got me going and still keeps me going.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. What about you, Marvin?
Man, so being the one gentleman here, I do share the great story about the flea market. My uncle was very into body oils and lotions and
Yeah.
shower gels. So, he taught us that business. I'm talking about carrying these big drums. I'm 11, 12 doing this with him. And so he kind of drilled the being on your own in my head. So that was one thing. But more importantly, I actually found out that on some jobs in some places, I just didn't fit for a long time. I did
Mhm.
not fit for a long time. It was always something where I just learned as much as I could, of course. And once I learned everything, I was like, okay, I don't feel like I need to go any further. I don't know
Right.
where I am. It's like I've always reached some type of ceiling with it. And then I said, well, let me balance it out. And entrepreneurship was that way of balancing out. So like one of my first businesses was with my cousin, where we actually we made ties, we made neckties. And so that was fun. So learning the whole tailoring thing, where you're not considered alternative lifestyle and all that. So I'm looking like, yeah, it don't matter. I'm definitely going to do these ties. We're going to make it good. And so from that, I just kept going. And I said, well, since I don't fit nowhere else, I'm going to beat to my own drum. I'm just going to do what I do. As long as I'm making some money to pay these bills, I think I'm all right.
Yeah.
Look like the flea market done birthed some boss babies, okay?
The flea market.
Right.
When you said it was lit, I say definitely was lit.
The flea market was where it was at. I'm telling
And it's so crazy though. I know I mean, flea markets are still around, but
That's right.
honestly, probably this new breed of entrepreneurs, may not necessarily understand the value,
Mhm.
right, of the flea market.
you.
Even
And hustle.
today, I would say, hey, you can get some real business still at the flea market. I have so many stories of
Absolutely.
going to the flea market as well as a child. So
Yep.
definitely it is a place where it is still happening for many entrepreneurs and business owners as well. So I definitely appreciate you, Carla, as well as Marvin, sharing those personal insights into that. As far as me, I know I share some of this in my recent book, The Mental Cost of Entrepreneurship, but I would say my entrepreneur spirit perhaps primarily stems from my father. I think Carla as well as Krystal. You mentioned your parents as well. So my father, he actually retired by the time I was born. I'm the oldest of my mother's kids, three daughters. Already retired as a school teacher, so I already had a full career in education as well as many other things as well. But he had to support his family, right? So my father became the watermelon man, the tape man, the peach man, you name it. Like I truly have many fond memories of going door to door. I know now things are so different. I remember when I went to college, there were some of my classmates and other students in college. They were selling, cassette tapes back then, the CDs, DVDs, those things, whatever. But literally, my father, we would go door to door throughout the Low Country of South Carolina selling those things. So certainly, that's where I perhaps get my earliest exposure, I would say, to this journey that we call entrepreneurship. And I always love hearing everyone else's story as well. The truth is, everyone has a story, right? There are many similarities and many things that we can relate to when it comes to being entrepreneurs, but then at the same time, everyone has their own unique journey and story as well that we should all listen to and learn from. And really, that's also another reason why I decided to do the Roadmap to Greatness conference. All right, so let's take a brief break, commercial break that is, a 30-second break. I want y'all to take a look at this clip from our visionary sponsor, Swag Her Magazine. Let me see if I can play it here. Here we go.
Swag Her Magazine is an empowerment and lifestyle publication for Black women who like to be real with themselves and in business. The magazine also offers public relations services and visibility coaching for Black women-led businesses, coaches, authors, and girl bosses so that they receive more exposure and grow their brands. To learn more about Swag Her Magazine, please visit www.swagher.net. That's www.swagher.net. Check our swag. We're more than a bag.
Thank you so much to Swagger Magazine. I think I connected with them when I hosted my first show, the Visions of Greatness talk show in the ATL, and they were, if not the first, one of the first sponsors at that time, and truly have been on this journey with me since then. So I'm forever grateful for them. Make sure you check out their website. They have many amazing exposure and a brand ambassador exposure opportunities for entrepreneurs, regardless of what season of business you are in. All right, y'all. So let's switch gears just a little bit, okay? 5 years ago, I hosted my 5th business anniversary celebration, and the theme at that time was the mental cost of entrepreneurship. And I remember just looking up the numbers, right? Looking up the statistics. And all of you are probably familiar with this statistic that says 50% of small businesses fail. That's half within the first 5 years. That's significant, right? For many reasons. But 50%. So, imagine having this this grand idea, right? And then life happens, things happen in your business. By the 10th year, that number jumps to, I think, 65%, right? So it jumps drastically. And thankfully, by the grace of God, in just a few weeks, I'll be celebrating 10 years of still standing. And several of you today have been in this game for at least 10 years. So, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs or even seasoned entrepreneurs that are currently struggling in life as well as their business so that hopefully they can persevere and achieve sustainability in their business venture?
So I would say knowing when to pivot is so important. Like, even when you show anytime I see anybody with a magazine, I get these butterflies because that's how I started. I started out with a newsletter, Women of Standard, and then we evolved into a magazine. And I just remember it being, I knew it was time to shift. Like, I was doing magazines back when it wasn't popular to have your own magazine, and it was really, really hard. So finding a mentor, I remember connecting with Teresa Harrison, and she helped me so much. She was the CEO of Gospel Today. But by the time I got connected with her, I felt God was really shifting me, saying now it's time for the next. And I did not want to let that thing go. And I think sometimes we can become so comfortable, like this is what I'm known for. This is where I'm comfortable. I've been doing this for 4 years and I got it. But it was like writing in the publisher's voice column of my magazine is what birthed the author in me. Becoming an author, both birthed the coaching, becoming a coach evolved me into a publisher. So knowing when to pivot. And even to your point of the 5 year mark, the 10 year mark, understanding there are going to be transitions. I'm in a transition right now as an entrepreneur. I'm in my 12th year, but 9th year full time. And now I'm finding myself shifting because not that the vision has changed. I'm still working plan A from 2011, but the vision is now more clearer. And so knowing when to shift, knowing when to pivot, I think is so important, and not getting stuck, allowing yourself to being reminded that we're multifaceted and you don't have to be just one thing. Like many of us, we're speakers, we're authors, we're like me and Marvin, we're publishers, you know what I'm saying? We're all coaches, but giving yourself permission to just explore more while taking care of your mental health in the process, because life is going to always happen. I say life be life and people be people. So life is going to always happen. But I always say when you are clear of your why, the why helps you navigate through the what. You know what I'm saying? When you know why you're doing something, it doesn't matter if you have one client or 20 clients. You know, this is what I'm born to do. I'm not a hustler. I'm not doing this for money. I just get compensated for the work that I do. But I would do this if money even wasn't involved. So knowing when to pivot, being clear of your why, marrying that why, and being flexible. You know what I mean? And then and finding community. I think having these entrepreneur conversations are so important, especially when it's with entrepreneurs that are willing to be honest and tell you about their struggles. Like I'm very honest with my clients. I'm honest with my peers about, yo, I'm struggling with this, or you know what I mean? Like just being completely transparent and open and finding your people, knowing when to pivot and being clear of your why.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Carla. I absolutely agree. Anyone else would like to dive in?
Just really quickly to piggyback off of what Carla said in the community piece of it, I highly recommend that from the very beginning. Like, I swear, if I could go back in the time, I would not change my journey because it's my journey, right? And everybody's journey is their own, and you have to grow and progress in your own time. But the one thing that I wish I would have had from the very beginning was a circle of like-minded people. I can't tell you how important that is for me today and how important that is for my growth and continued growth, as I even pivot in certain areas of my business. I didn't start out with 4 businesses. I started out with 1 business. And so, like Carla said, giving yourself permission to be able to do those things and explore some of the other passions that you have, some of the other things that you may have been called to do. What you're doing now has prepared you for what you're going to do in the future, so that you can even impact more lives than you are impacting right now today. But I will say, I think just having that circle of like-minded people, and also people that are doing better than you. I can't tell
Yes.
you how important it is to get in the room. Like when I say get
Mhm.
in the room, that's really what I mean. Like if you want to be a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure earner, I hope you are making it a point and being intentional about being in the room with those people and just seeing what they do. I'm telling you, just the essence going to rub off on you, and that's just going
Come
to make
on.
you. That's just going to make your business and your life just so much better. So, you always want to be surrounding yourself with positivity and around, where you see yourself, where you see your life going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carla, as well as Krystal. Let's shift gears and jump into your topics for the Roadmap to Greatness conference. So, share what your topic is, as well as what the audience or attendees can expect by attending the conference. Who would like to start?
I'll go. Okay. My topic is this is Joan. My topic is how to navigate your career in a recession. And we give 3 hacks that people can start on how to do that. And we have to talk about the recession a little. So we talk about that first. And I think with the people are going to get things that they could take away that they can implement immediately, and we make it real practical, and things are going to fit people whether they're unemployed, underemployed, laid off, if they're in a toxic environment, a toxic culture, anything, wherever they are in their career, they can implement the things that we're going to be discussing. So we look forward to that. And by the way, the ladies, Krystal and Carla, what you all said was spot on. In addition to actually learning and keeping yourself in the loop, if it's something that you're not good in the technology, since that's going so fast, I would say if you have the revenue, hire somebody that can do it, or get somebody that can do it temporarily to help you so that you won't fall behind. That's a thing that I would add to that as well. But those were just awesome jewels. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Let's jump to you, Marvin. What's your topic for the conference, and what can attendees expect to receive as a result of attending?
My topic is dare to succeed. I really try my best to challenge you to get those beliefs that you have about yourself and what you're able to do. Once you start believing that you can do something, believing that whatever is out in front of you is impossible, because just because you're the first to do it in your family doesn't mean it was impossible to do. You just had to be born so it can be done. Then I kind of go through pursuing and going after your successes, what's important to you, and then how we can take some risks. I kind of close it out talking about how risk can change your life. It can challenge those fears that you have. And sometimes our fears are not necessarily fears of failure, but it's also like fears of success, because you've never seen six figures in
Mm.
your life, or you've never seen $1 million, doesn't mean you have to run away from something that you haven't seen. You just have to find yourself community. Is the same thing the ladies were just saying. Find your community, hang around some people that have more than you, not for you to shrink, but for it to ignite something on the inside of you. So my topic, I can't tell too much more, but dare to succeed.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Marvin. All right, so we're going to jump to Krystal and then Carla.
Yeah, so my topic is millionaire mindset, creating multiple income streams. I consider myself to be the multiple income stream queen. But I'll be giving 4 elements of developing a millionaire mindset and some practical ways in which you can create multiple income streams in your business or through different businesses. But I just really want participants to know, again, that everything that we're sharing, not just me, is possible for you. And you just have to make the decision that you're going to succeed. And yeah, so that's my topic. I don't want to give away too much. Thanks.
Thank you.
So mine is know your worth, and worth is an acronym that is broken down into actionable steps. And so, like Marvin, it's really about helping you navigate through those what I call negative thinking traps and self-sabotaging behaviors, limiting mindsets, because the truth is it doesn't go away. Like even when you make the money, there are times when you can doubt yourself or feel like, when you step out, like when Krystal talks about those multiple streams of income, you can kind of have fear like, will this work, but will this work? And so when you continue to work the system and believe in yourself and begin to walk out these practical principles, then one success builds upon the next success. So with my session, it's really about the foundational principles of not losing yourself, like the real you, in the process of building your brand. And that derived from, I have seen so many successful people in ministry and in the marketplace who go on and do great things, make a lot of money, but they'll lose their marriage or they'll lose friendships or you know what I mean? And it's like, well, how can we continue to build and not always lose in that process? So being true to who you are, believing in yourself, and continuing to lift others as you climb. So mine is know your worth, and worth is an acronym that I'll be sharing when you tune into my session, that are practical steps that you can begin to walk out and enforce immediately.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank y'all so much. Now, if you're just tuning in, I am Shanna A. Jefferson, the host of Visionary Conversations with Shanna, as well as the creator of the Roadmap to Greatness Conference, which will celebrate my 10th year in business, as well as celebrate the journey of other entrepreneurs, coaches, creatives, and business owners, including the amazing 10 expert speakers. And we have just four of them with us today. 2 weeks from today, February 17th, we will have an additional 4 or 5 speakers join us so they can share with you who they are as well as what you can expect from them at the Roadmap to Greatness conference. So if you have not already done so, y'all, go to roadmaptogreatnessconference.com. Grab your tickets today. And I don't even believe I've shared this yet, okay? So tickets are only start at $10, just $10. Virtual conference. I can't even put a price tag on this, right? The wealth of information
That's right.
that you are going to get from the expert speakers at this conference. Certainly, you can upgrade and receive additional benefits, including we're giving away a scholarship as well as over $5,000 in business resources. So, I mean, to me, of course, I'm biased, but this is a no brainer, y'all, okay? Register RSVP today, February 23rd and 24th. We will be virtual. And then on February 25th, so that's Saturday, February 25th, we will have an intimate celebration live and in person in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm fairly new to Charlotte, really, really new to Charlotte. Actually, I know I've been in the ATL mostly the last 5+ years, as well as the Bull City, but I'm definitely looking forward to connecting with you, those of you who are in Charlotte or the surrounding area. So grab a ticket to join us in person on February 25th. We will also have, this is so important, we will just finalize this yesterday. We will also have a photographer that will offer professional headshots. Um, for our entrepreneurs and business owners in attendance on February 25th. So again, go to roadmaptogreatnessconference.com to grab your ticket. All right, we have pretty much come to the end of the show today, but I normally conclude the show, y'all, with a nugget for greatness. So I would like for each of you to drop a nugget for greatness or inspirational message with our audience. And don't forget to also leave them with your social media contact information. Okay. So let's do it this way. We're going to start with Carla and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Um, I would say know that your story is the connector to your community.
Mm.
Your story is the connector to your community. And so your story is going to always be relevant. Share it, share it. Even the most embarrassing things, childhood traumas, whatsoever is your why as to, connecting you to doing what it is that you do. Your story is the connector to your community. So don't, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, there's 1,000 other people dealing with the same thing. And so when you overcome, you don't have to know all things, but once you overcome in a particular area, don't be afraid to share that wisdom. Because people aren't looking necessarily for experts. They're looking for individuals who are relatable, who are transparent, who are authentic, and who they can resonate with. And so my website is carlacannon.com. And then you can find me on social media, any platform at Carla R. Cannon Lawrence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Miss Krystal, what nugget for greatness will you leave with our audience today?
I think I would say that there are no failures, only lessons. So, as an entrepreneur, I think, or just in general in life, we're always skeptical or we're afraid of failure, but there really are no failures. There's really only lessons. And the more, I would say, not say the more failures you have, but honestly, you take away the lesson that you're learning from that particular experience, whether it's in life or in business. I always talk about one of my favorite brands, Amazon, and how they actually celebrate failures. Their employees will get together and they'll celebrate when a product doesn't do well. And it might sound crazy, but I had to sit back and think about it. And I use this example because it's kind of like they took what they learned and they used that in their next project or next product that they were going to put out. So I encourage my clients to do the same thing. Take what you learned, know that you learned a lot, and just implement that. So that's the one piece of advice that I would give. You guys can connect with me at slayhardeveryday.co. Again, that's slayhardeveryday.co. I'm also on Facebook at iSimplyShe and Instagram at I_simply_she.
Yes, thank you so much, Krystal. Let's jump to Joan and then we'll conclude with Marvin, and then actually I'll leave a nugget for greatness as well, of course.
Okay, I would say take imperfect action. And
Mm,
that is particularly resonates with perfectionists because I'm a perfectionist and I could have been doing a lot more sooner, but we don't have any regrets. We just move forward and we just keep going. So take imperfect action. That would be my sentence. And as far as the socials, the two main platforms that I am on, LinkedIn under Joan C. Smith, and I am very responsive there, and my Facebook page, Premier Career Coaching on Facebook.
awesome. Thank you so much, Joan. Marvin, what nugget for greatness will you leave with our audience?
My nugget would be talking about perspective. We ought to work on how we think more than us continuing to ask for something to happen in our life. Sometimes you're looking for answers when you already have the answer. So sometimes we change our perspective, and if we change our perspective, a lot of other things in life will create that change that we need. And connect with me through my website, Marvin McQueen, the number 2.com. Marvin McQueen, number 2.com.
Thank you so much. So, once again, to the Visionary Conversations with Shana audience, hopefully you were taking note today. If not, just catch the replay, drop replay in the comments, whether you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube. And don't forget to RSVP for the Roadmap to Greatness Conference. Thank y'all so much, visionary entrepreneurs. I look forward to connecting with each of you in just a few weeks. Now, before we conclude for today, y'all, I'll leave this nugget for greatness with you. I think it was just probably perhaps a few months ago, I heard TD Jakes share that you cannot stand in greatness alone. Let me repeat. You cannot stand in greatness alone, okay? You cannot do this journey alone. And a matter of fact, at the conference, I'll be recognizing 10 amazing people that are near and dear to me that have stood with me 10 toes down along this journey of entrepreneurship. I consider them my circle of greatness. So, for any of you, regardless of what stage or what season of entrepreneurship that you are in, please know that you cannot do this alone. So, be sure, first and foremost, to connect with my amazing expert speakers, Carla, Krystal, Joan, Marvin, and we have 6 other speakers as well that will be joining us for the Roadmap to Greatness Conference, February 23rd through 25th. We will be virtual for the first 2 days. And then once again on February 25th, we will be live in Charlotte, North Carolina. That day, honestly, we're going to mostly celebrate, okay? But for the for the serious stuff, make sure y'all RSVP for the virtual conference, February 23rd and 24th. We will be back again for Visionary Conversations with Shana 2 weeks from today on February 17th. That is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love and greatness, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.